Chekhov is one of the most important dramaturgs, of course, and for the Russian directors especially. And I had already 2 productions of Chekhov, but Platonow is the most, it's the youngest, the earliest play, which is so massive, so big, not perfect at all, but it's always interesting to deal with this text and to change it and to figure out so it might be something very clear and precise, because the play itself, it's huge, enormous. A lot of themes, a lot of directions that then Chekhov develops in his further best plays are already inside Platonow. That's very interesting, that you see how many themes he put inside and then he develops it. So that's why when you try to deal with Platonow, you have to choose what is interesting in this play for you, especially, because you can choose any themes. There are a lot of them there. We cut a lot of characters there, and all our characters are very old-aged people in very precise circumstances in a senior house where they live their last days of their life, and all the love affairs and everything happens between them is just the last chance to live their life as emotional as it's possible. So that's why it's different from the original, let's say. It's a man who has 3 love affairs with the wife and wife also. So 4 women. But for us, it's not only about these affairs. It's about how he wants to, when he comes to this house, how he wants to make all the people around him alive, because he feels he has this energy, he has this talent to make them alive, because they are dying there and he sees, but he doesn't want. That's why in our situation he is not killed at the end, because in the original play he is killed by one of the women. Here it's a different final. I will not spoil, but it's fighting against the death. That's the main topic here. That's the challenge. That's the challenge, that the young actors have to act that they are old. So it gives me a distance. It gives me a distance, and make me this more possibility for this not funny effect, but more humor. It gives me more humor, because of course when 2 very aged people confess in love, it sounds a little bit different and looks a little bit different, sometimes funny and sometimes very sad. So we try to achieve these 2 feelings. The main topic here in the production is, let's say, the closeness of the deaf and an attempt to avoid death. And moreover, our characters, they're kind of isolated in this house. They are forgotten and very lonely. So it's not about these love affairs. It's about how to escape death, especially because they are Russians. Russian people now, unfortunately, come to be isolated. And this, I can see some parallel. Artists and our characters, they are former actors, singers, so they are artists. And they now lonely and no one needs them. So somehow it connects to the present days, let's say. In each situation, for each person, it's their own circumstances. But of course, all of we have to fight now, fight against just the circumstances of life. For example, for me and a lot of my colleagues who I cannot say escaped, but left Russia and don't want to stay there and work there. Of course, for us, it's an everyday challenge. How to live in these new circumstances, how to find the job and to stay in the theater, but outside the country where we all been worked for many years.